Hi, guys, and welcome to this episode. Today, I want to be speaking with you about why I'm obsessed with subconscious reprogramming, how it's connected to quantum physics and reality shifting. And you're going to get lots of little nuggets, big nuggets actually, on how you can use these same concepts and tools to shift your reality and to make the impossible possible. So that's one of the reasons why I am obsessed with subconscious reprogramming, because subconscious reprogramming enables us to make what is perceived as impossible possible. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with my subconscious reprogramming work, feel free to watch all my other videos where I explain subconscious reprogramming. But for those of you who have a little bit of an awareness and you've been following me for a little bit, you know that 95% of our reality is dictated by our subconscious beliefs. So if that's the case and they're unconscious, you're not even aware of it. If you have a belief that you can never get married, or if you have a belief that, I was going to say the earth is flat, then that's true for you. Just like back in the day when everyone believed, this is collective consciousness. So there's different levels too. We have personal beliefs, but there's also collective consciousnesses that we pick up on. Everyone believed that the world was flat until it was proven wrong. And that's what I love about the statement, science is fiction until it is. So I absolutely love making the impossible possible. Bear with me in this ramble because the download of codes and information, it might come in a what seems like a disorganized way, but it all fits into the bigger picture. So it's all going to click into place into your consciousness as I'm talking about this. So science is fiction until it's fact. And I love subconscious reprogramming because it makes the impossible possible. So for example, before, like I mentioned, the earth is flat thing, everyone was like, no, the earth can't be round. That's impossible, until it was proven that it was. And that's the thing with all of the science. Every piece of science that we have today is valuable, and it's important to have science, and it's important to scientifically prove elements, stuff, techniques, realities. But every science that exists today is already outdated because there's always more out there to be discovered, and there's always a reinvention. And a lot of times the science that's been done in the past has been proven wrong as well. So this connects into quantum science, quantum physics. I am not a quantum scientist. I do not claim to be an expert in that very complex realm. But the basics that most of us know about quantum science, quantum physics, is that there's an infinite potential of realities. There's an infinite potential of potentials. There's an infinite potential of potentialities. And there's no beginning and there's no end. And the most important part, and this links into subconscious reprogramming, is that reality is dictated by an observer. So for those of you who are familiar with the double slit experiment, they observed in the experiment that energy can be observed as a particle and energy can be observed as a wave. But the way that the particle behaved in the physical reality was determined by the observer. So who's the observer of your reality? This means that this is the exciting part, you determine how wave patterns collapse into physical reality in your reality. Obviously, there's so much more to it. We live in a collective consciousness, and there's a higher dimension, and there's multidimensionality. But for this to be applicable to you personally, when you take that on board, that how you observe reality is how reality will be reflected back to you, is massive. This is where subconscious reprogramming comes in, because 95% of your reality is dictated by your subconscious programming. So if we are picking up on programming from childhood, from our ancestors, from the collective, being fed all of this information about how we're supposed to feel, how we're supposed to look, if you were shamed as a child, made to feel horrible about yourself, if you have all of these beliefs about yourself from your personal experience, and then look at our society. How does our society program us? Society programs us to be slaves, basically. That's one perspective that I'm sharing. Obviously, there's many perspectives. But one perspective is that the old paradigms, the way that it's been working so far, it had its benefits. We needed a functional society that ran with systems and things like that. But basically, we have to work really hard for very little money. Life is supposed to be hard, and you have to struggle, and that's it. And then you get retired, and then you can enjoy the last little bit of your life. How sad is that? And that is one massively collectively accepted belief. If you look at it, that's how we all operate. Because that's how the whole system has been built. How many deep down actually disagrees with it and would like to live differently? A lot of people. And this is why I'm so grateful for having carved out the life that I have for myself through healing, through subconscious reprogramming, through understanding more and more and more every single day how reality works, how I can take charge of my reality and not be a part of a way of living that I don't actually agree with. A lot of people are happy that way, and that's great. As long as you're happy, whatever floats your boat. But if you feel inside, like, I am not creating the life that I want to create for myself. My work is not the way that I want it to be. My relationships are not the way that I want it to be. My finances are not the way that I want it to be. I'm not living in the country I want to be in. I'm not having the experience that I want to have. And you're like, why? Personal and collective programming. Because that's what creates the default frequencies that are sent out in the observation of reality that collapses it into your observed reality. So if you have subconscious reprogramming that it's impossible for you to do what you love, you're stuck in a system, you're always going to be stuck in a system, you don't deserve a loving partner, all of that, that is the lens, that is the observational lens that you're going to observe reality through, and that's what's going to be reflected back to you. And you might find that like a harsh truth, like, oh, really? But it's actually a blessing, because this is where you get to take your creational powers back. Because then you're not disempowered anymore. Then you're not a victim anymore. Then you get to take responsibility for your brain, for your emotions, for your actions, for your feelings, for how you choose to show up in life, and start to undo all of the stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. And how fun is that? And maybe that's part of your purpose. If you're watching this, maybe that is part of your purpose. To be a part of the collective, there's a huge wave of people now. I mean, I don't think there's ever been this many people on the planet before who are doing this amount of healing. You know, how many people now are doing ayahuasca retreats, reading self-development books, learning about quantum science, learning about how reality works, learning about conscious communication, learning about how to emotionally regulate. Like, there's so many people doing that now on the planet. And all of what that is doing is raising the frequency on the planet, the collective human consciousness on the planet together. So you are actually being influenced by that, by others unconsciously, whether you're aware of it or not. And if you're watching this, maybe this is a part of, if you feel a little lit up by that, wow, I am actually here to raise my level of consciousness, to bring this earth into a better existence through improving my own existence. As reality is an extension of myself, that becomes a very joyous path to walk and a very empowering path to walk. And for those of you who also know me, I am such a space cadet. I'm going to be sharing more personal stuff on YouTube here, but I love pushing limits of what is possible. I love seeing how far we can go with our consciousness. I love seeing how far we can go with reality, and how, when anyone says that's not possible, I'm always like, there's infinite realities. There's infinite potential realities. Whatever you say is not possible, it's not possible in your reality, but in another reality, it is. I want to find the frequency of that one, if it's a good one, and observe that. So this is why I've done a lot of like extreme things in my life, because I just want to see how far, what's possible, like how far my consciousness can go. And that's why I love subconscious reprogramming, because subconscious reprogramming allows you to remove all of the rubber bands that are holding you back. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't do that. Can't do this. Can't do that. And then we let go, and you can shoot off into that reality that you thought was impossible. And you might be like, what are you talking about? And I just want to put this in context of sharing vulnerability and relating with you about my personal life, because I come from a massive amount of lack and limitation and poverty and trauma and difficulties, not an easy start to life. And if it wasn't for subconscious reprogramming and healing, I know I would have been suicidally depressed for many years. I don't even know if I would have still even been alive. I don't know where I would have ended up. Maybe addicted to drugs. I'm not sure. I just know that it would not be good. And if it wasn't for subconscious reprogramming and healing and going on choosing this path instead and taking full responsibility of my life, taking full responsibility of becoming aware of what programs I was having in myself, because I can blame society all day long. I can blame my parents all day long. I can blame everyone every day all day long. And that puts me into victim mode. And then I'm powerless. But if I become aware of, wow, I had a massive lack mentality, and I am still expanding more and more and more into abundance mentality, because it really dictates your reality. Because you cannot experience that which you are not the frequency of. And that's quantum science. That's where Einstein would come in now and say, that's what I said. So this is why I like to blend a little bit of science in here. And I think science is good. Science is really good for the skeptics. So there's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, all the spiritual people, just all the woo-woo stuff. They're just sitting and meditating and dreaming about a life. They're not actually doing the work and making it happen. If you blend subconscious reprogramming, getting in touch with your higher self and your intuition, following your excitement. For those of you who know me, I love Bashar, who's channeled by Daryl Anka. I'll get into all of the space stuff that I'm interested in as well. And you combine a radical self-responsibility and taking ownership of the healing that you need to do, shifting that around, reality has no other choice but to reflect back to you a new reality by physics, the science. So that's why I like to blend science into it. I know I'm not going into the scientific details, but you can go into the double split experience. You could double split experiments. You can go into quantum physics. You can visit Nassim Haramein, his website, and you can go down a rabbit hole of quantum science and realize that it confirms pretty much everything that I'm saying in this video. But this is not a science video. This is a video for you to just start to open your mind and open yourself up to like, wow, there is actually an infinite potential reality realm for me. And there's infinite versions of myself that I can tap into. Reality is frequency based. And how I feel and how I think is important. And that I feel good about myself and I feel good in my life and that I follow my passion, I follow my dreams. I take action on what's important to me is a priority, is what will enable you to change your reality. That's empowering. So that's what I want to do for you today, is to empower you into letting go of feeling like, oh, you can't do anything, or you can't change anything, or you can't have all the things that you want. You can have everything you want. What if I told you you can have absolutely everything that you wanted? Watch what comes up in your head. Isn't that fun? I talked about this in my previous video too. And this is me pushing the limits. I like to push the limits. And this is what I do in my client work as well. It's confronting to the ego and the subconscious, because all of the fear programs will come up. Oh, I'll lose my job. Oh, I'll lose my partner. My family will abandon me. If I become rich, everyone will hate me. If I become rich, I will lose all of my friends. All of that subconscious reprogramming, you will notice it come to the surface. And that stops you from taking action. And inaction is what prevents the manifestation of that which you really want. So isn't it great to start to have this awareness and to feel empowered in yourself and that you can actually take charge? And maybe there's a little part of you that doesn't want to. There's a little part of the human self that's like, that seems like hard work. But is it hard work? Is shifting your frequency really hard work? Is letting go of limiting hard work? Letting all of that go instead of allowing it to just control your life for the rest of your life? If your life is already hard now, isn't it harder to continue to have a hard life rather than to let go of a hard life? Is it really hard to allow in an easy life? Do you think that will it take a lot of work to start to allow your life to become easy? So start to shift your thinking in this way. What if life was really easy? What if everything that I wanted to come to me really easy and effortlessly? And this is the funny thing with subconscious reprogramming, because we're so heavily programmed, like I mentioned, from the collective society, that if anything is supposed to come to you, you have to work really hard for it. Or if you get it really easily, people will be jealous and judge you. Or if you have a good life and blah, 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 all of this stuff, you can just let all of that go. And as we all let all of that go and start to allow ourselves to feel more love, to feel more compassion for ourselves, to recognize that we can have easier lives, that we can have better lives, who benefits? Not just you, but everyone. Because it's all the lack and limitation that creates the power struggles, that creates the density, that creates war, that creates all of the adversity that we see on the planet. On a soul level, we are all aligned. On a soul level, we are an extension of source energy, just wants health and happiness for ourselves and everyone. And I know that sounds like a super visionary statement, but we need visionaries. We need people who can hold a template of the future that we can work towards. So start holding those templates for yourself. Start holding the frequencies, start holding the templates of that reality, of that version of yourself that you know that you can shift into, because it's totally there, it's already done. Start holding those realities instead of buying into lack and limitation. The more that you do this, the more that your friends do this, the more that your family does this, the more empowered you all feel together, the more you want the best for other people and other people want the best for you. We all just create these upward spirals, and we can just allow everything to become great. Should we all just come together and allow everything to become great? And then, interesting, right? Once that statement is done, then it's like, what about this? And what about that? How about letting all that go as well? Because look at the intelligence behind reality. Are you pumping your heart right now? Did you grow the trees outside of your door? Are you making the birds sing? Look at the intelligence of life. The intelligence of life is able to take care of itself better than we are. So the more we can let go of the worries of who's going to fix this problem, who's going to fix that problem. Anyone who has it in their heart's desire to be of service to others, which is most people, it's letting go of the density that will enable a person to tap into that passion to be of service to the people who need their service. All of the pieces of the puzzle will come together. Nature will be restored because there are people who are actually very passionate about nature. Hunger will be gone because there's people who are passionate about feeding the people who need the food instead of having the office job or instead of doing something else that they don't want to do. The people will be healed because there's people who are here to heal people with emotional trauma, like myself. This is my little, piece of the universe. Emotional healing, subconscious reprogramming, trauma healing, working with your frequency and reality shifting. That's my little corner. So you don't have to worry. The most important thing that you can focus on is yourself. And what is important to you. What it lights you up. What makes your heart sing. Because that is a signal from your higher self to follow. Because anything that makes your heart sing, anything that makes you genuinely happy, and I'm not talking about, dopamine highs, like taking ecstasy and cocaine and like, I feel so good and this is my highest excitement. Long-term, genuine happiness, taking care of your body, taking care of your emotions, taking care of yourself, genuine contentment and peace in yourself. That is what's going to benefit everyone. And that's why you feel this feeling of passion and love and excitement when you allow yourself to lean into what you enjoy. Some of these videos are also me just sharing a bit more personally about who I am, because I get a lot of messages from you wanting to know more about me and a bit more of a personal touch. So I'm also going to be sharing more on YouTube. So if you have any questions about my life or what I like or who I am, anything like that, feel free to ask. But I am a super space cadet. I love everything and that has to do with the universe, everything that's out there. Again, pushing the limits. So when anyone says, there's no planet Earth is the only planet where there's life. Come on. Watch one Gaia episode. Go to Gaia.com, watch an episode. There's a lot of life out there. And for those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know that I went deep into channeling and speaking with off-planetary beings. And I still do this a lot behind the scenes. So when I work with my clients, I do subconscious reprogramming and I incorporate channeling when necessary. But that is something that excites me a lot for planet Earth to finally become a harmonious planet that can perform intergalactic travel. Elon Musk, thank you very much for working on it. But we all know that, and for those of you who don't know, again, I highly advise you to go to Gaia. And if you want more resources about UFOs, about off-planetary beings, about multidimensionality, just let me know and I can give you plenty of resources. So you can go deeper into understanding that as well if you feel called to. First of all, I recommend that you just focus on yourself. But if you want to go deeper into the infinite possibilities in reality and off-planetary experiences and space and off-planetary beings, that is a whole nother realm that we can talk a lot about in upcoming videos if you want to hear more about that. And I'm linking it in here. You might be like, why are you talking about this? Because I'm linking in here because it's connected with humanity's collective consciousness and our spiritual evolution. So you focusing on yourself benefits everyone, raises the collective consciousness. And that is necessary in order for Earth to become a harmonious planet and to be a part of the intergalactic traveling. Of course, you know, we're denied access to other planets when we're behaving like monkeys on the planet. So us evolving as a species, as humans, into a harmonious species that understand that unconditional love is what we are and we need to work together instead of against each other, that will allow us to start to have bigger projects, bigger interactions, you know, really start to go out there. Not to leave Earth because it's so horrible here. We're going to make heaven on Earth, but to allow for more technology to come into place, to allow for other species to come and live on this planet. But first we need to focus on us and stop hating each other and start hating ourselves, become a harmonious species that can live together and show that we can live on this earth and govern ourselves in a functional way. And it starts with you. How functional is your home? How functional is your relationship with yourself? This is why we always have to come back to the self. Because it all starts with you. So that's my invitation to you. You are extremely powerful. You are more powerful than you even know. And you have all the tools. And it starts with self-love. That's the easiest path to self-love. Bring in meditation. Start to eat healthy. Drink plenty of water. Take care of yourself first. Prioritize yourself and your needs, your emotions, your thoughts, your physical being. And things will start to become easier and easier and easier and easier. And synchronicity will start to come into place because the intelligence of life will pick up on like, note it. Look at her. Look at him. He's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it. Give him more opportunities to do more of that because this is good. Because you're doing that which supports life. And whenever you do anything that supports life, that's healthy to life, life will support you. So you're only doing yourself and everything and everyone in existence a favor by taking good care of yourself. So if you need a bit of help with this, you know that I am here to support you. You can sign up to the Power Method. It's a transformational journey where we do a lot of uncovering of the limiting beliefs. You can do a lot of reality shifting in a short period of time and heal a lot of the blockages that you may not even be aware of. And I recommend that you go to my website to learn more about it. All the links are in the description. If you enjoy these videos, please give them a like, subscribe. That really helps me to make more. And I will see you in the next episode.